And I think a key part of that is the level that these young Americans are playing at over in Europe. You were one of the first Americans I ever saw applying your trade at the very highest level. You were in the Premier League with Bolton. What does it say to you? What do you feel when you see Americans stepping out to represent AC Milan and Juventus?
Yeah, I feel an immense sense of pride. There were people that came before me, uh, and opened those doors and those opportunities for me, and I mean that in the way that you're constantly striving to change perceptions of the way that you're viewed and boxed in as an American soccer player. It's just the reality. Coaches go through the same thing. We talked about Jesse Marsh earlier and Bob Bradley was over in Europe. And look, as much as we don't want to talk about it, or at least that Brits don't want to talk about, there's a perceived bias at times when it comes to the way that players are viewed and valued, and you have to earn your right. And I loved the idea that I could change perception and change people's expectations of what I was and what I could be. And I look at the players now, they're playing in some big clubs, but yet I still think we need to be honest about the amount of minutes and the amount of impact that some of these players have had. And it's a good reminder that it's one thing getting there, it's another thing achieving and performing and doing that consistently, because the pressures are so much higher. The stakes are higher because of the money involved, the promotion, the relegation. And even when you go up a level, like let's say Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie, and they play at these teams that are in the Champions League, which is something that I didn't have the opportunity to do or to achieve because of, various different reasons. But those stakes are even bigger, and I think you've seen the highs and the lows even at that level, where Christian Pulisic had a couple of, great years at Chelsea, but then a year where he wasn't playing so much, and I've loved the response that I've seen from him, from his character, to then go to AC Milan and to perform in the way that he did. So, we have players now at big teams, we have players in big leagues, but when I look at the US team right now, that I think that's my biggest challenge to these players ahead of 2026, and as we go forward here, is to not just be at these teams, but be a contributor and then be a leader and be a star. Now, that takes the next gear, because when I look at guys that have had good years, it's Pulisic, it's McKennie, it's Antonee Robinson. I would say Chris Richards had a bit of a breakout year with Crystal Palace into a very good team. And so it's the guys that are on the cusp, or the guys that are in the championship. Can they go to the Premier League? Can they go to top level teams? Can they be leaders? And then can they carry that into the national team? Because that's going to be the difference now between us just being a good team and us being a great team and achieving great things in 26 that no US team has ever done before.